Rodrigues is expected to apply for a stay of prosecution based on his age. He's also expected to argue that the murder happened too long ago for justice to take its course. A 1972 inquest claimed Timol took his own life by jumping from the 10th floor window of the notorious John Vorster Square police station in Johannesburg. 2 decades later, the ruling was changed to murder by the Pretoria High Court. It implicated 80-year-old Rodrigues, who was the last person to see Timol alive in room 1026. And now our reporter Maheketla Mhlabe has been following the story and joins us now for an update. Maheketla, let's just take our viewers back to the proceedings now. It was a different case initially about determining the cause of murder, and now it's about sentencing.
Not really. In fact, today we are expecting what we call pre-trial conference. In other words, this is when we're going to hear when this case or the trial, the exact trial, is going to start. On the other side, also, we understand that the defense, that is Timol, Rodrigues' lawyers, they want to apply for permanent stay of prosecution, meaning they want this case to be struck off the roll. But the state as well as the Timol family are actually fighting, saying that no, it can't happen because remember, last year in October, Judge Billy Mutle in Pretoria found that Timol did not commit suicide. He ruled that the 1971 inquest was a fabrication and was a cover-up to actually cover up the actions by the security branch officers, including Rodrigues himself, who was there in room 1026 when this incident happened. And of course, Rodrigues himself saying that no, he actually jumped through that 10th floor window. I saw him. No one pushed him, and he also maintained that he did not spot any injuries on his head. But when we heard through that inquiry, when we heard from independent forensic pathologists, they actually indicated that from the pictures they saw, they actually saw that Timol's injuries were not consistent with the fall from the height. So today, we're actually going to hear arguments from both parties as to why they feel that this man, the 80-year-old man, Joao Rodrigues, should get that permanent stay of prosecution.
This trial has opened another conversation as to the multitude of other political prisoners who were reported to have, as Rodrigues says, just fallen off the windows.
Absolutely.
But now there's questions around whether it really transpired that way.
In fact, I can just give you an example about a story that I did last week, just before the postponement to today. This was Matthews Mabelani's family. Matthews Mabelani was one of the detainees at John Vorster Square in 1977. He died in a similar fashion, and police or the inquiry a week after ruled that in that inquest to say that it was an accident. In fact, many of the cases of the detainees that died in the hands of the police officers back then were mostly ruled as suicide or accident, which is why we are here today. So Rodrigues today will have to actually hear if he will be given that pardon, but I don't think so, because
what are the chances?
Well, I don't think there are any chances of him getting away with this, because remember, this is one of the many cases that many families really want to get closure with, and we understand that the Timol family did reopen that inquiry last year to reach us here. So in other words, the state on the other side frustrated, saying that it's been taking too long now, so we really need to get into the court with this case.
Tell us about your interactions with the Timol family and what this has meant for them.
Well, obviously, if you remember during that inquiry last year, what they wanted is the truth as to what happened to Timol himself. They really wanted to know what happened to their loved one. In other words, they wanted Rodrigues, among others, to come out with the truth, to say that, no, okay, this is what happened. He did not commit suicide. He was murdered. But Rodrigues, of course, maintaining that, no, I was there this man
jumped.
I was the only person in room 1026 at John Foster Square, and I saw him jump through that window. But of course, this is contrary to some former detainees, including Salim Isop, who was arrested alongside Ahmed Timol himself, saying that I had screams overnight. I had screams, and I could tell that that was Timol's voice.
Yeah.
So there was no way Timol was not assaulted, did not sustain those injuries before he was even murdered. So Timol's family, of course, they want closure, and they only want the truth from Rodrigues. But the question, I guess, is Rodrigues going to change let me just put it this way. Is Rodrigues going to change his position to say he committed murder?
Yeah.
Well, we don't know, but we'll see if the trial stands, really.
What have been the lessons for you as a reporter on this story? Obviously,
the lessons have been that you look, and of course, speaking to other families, you get the sense that they really want to get the truth of what happened to their loved ones. And you also get the sense that more especially, the parents of those detainees died without knowing the truth now. And I can go back to the Mabelani's family. The brothers of Mabelani, of course, they are old, but you can sense that they want to leave this world having known the truth. Parents have died, of course, but they want to know the truth as to what happened to their loved ones. And I should mention that Rodrigues' case is one of the many, and they believe that this will crack open more trials or even more prosecutions of other police officers who may still be alive. We don't know at this stage because this happened a long time ago. As we understand that the reason why Rodrigues wants this to be struck off the roll is because this case happened a long time ago, over 4 decades ago.
And that's not a good enough reason
to strike a case off the roll. That's not a good enough reason. That's why Timol's family is saying that we really want to hear from the defense why they feel that this case should be struck off the roll.
Have you been able to gauge public interest in this story?
Of course. I mean, remember, and I can actually take you back to Kulumane Support Group on the other side, saying that there are over 200,000 complaints that are sitting, files of complaints that are sitting in their office, and they want these particular cases resolved. So this clearly shows you how much families want closure. Families are not coping out there, and clearly they want to get closure to these kind of cases.
Okay, we'll be watching as it unfolds today. Mahkitla Mutlabi is our reporter on this story.